In today's episode, we will learn about David vs. Goliath, a shepherd who slew a giant. Once upon a time, Israelites and Philistines were facing off against each other in the valley of Elah. The Philistines were a very strong and mighty army, but among them was a giant warrior by the name of Goliath. He was 6 cubits tall, which is about 9 feet or 3 meters. He was very well built and muscular. Now every morning, Goliath would go out to the front lines and challenge the Israelites to send a man to fight him in single combat. He did this for 40 days straight, and no one from Israel dared to fight him. All the Israelites were afraid of Goliath, because if they lost the fight, then their heads would be cut off and their bodies would be thrown into the sea. But if Goliath lost the fight, then he would receive the same punishment. So nobody wanted to take up the challenge. Meanwhile, there was a young man named David who was a shepherd by trade. His father, Jesse, had sent him to deliver food to his older brothers who were fighting in the war. So David left his sheep in the care of a friend and went on his way with a staff and a bag of food. On the way to the battlefield, David could hear the taunts and insults being hurled back and forth between the two armies. And when he came to the front lines and saw the giant Goliath standing there all by himself, he heard him say, "Why do you come to fight? Is it not a fact that neither in Israel nor among my master Saul's troops have any man been able to come to terms with me? Foreigner though I am your master's servant. Send me to meet this Philistine." And when Goliath spoke these words, all the men of Israel were enraged. They saw that Goliath was insulting the God of Israel and tempting them to fight him. And many of them wanted to go out and kill him, but they were afraid. When David heard these things, he became very angry. He was only a young man, but he had great faith in God. And he said to himself, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the living God of Israel? Surely in the name of the Lord, the God of Israel, I will do this day. I will fight with this Philistine and prevent him from boasting." Then David ran to the front lines as fast as he could and called out to the Philistine, "Hey, uncircumcised one, come here. I am coming to fight you." When Goliath heard these words, he was very angry, and he yelled back at David, "Who are you, little boy? What are you doing here? Are you trying to be a hero?" David replied with great confidence, "I am a servant of the living God, and I am here to fight against you today." Now, Goliath started laughing when he heard these words, because he thought that David was just another scared Israelite soldier who was trying to scare him away. He yelled back at him, "You think you can defeat me? I've fought many strong warriors before, but they all lost. You don't even have a sword or a shield. What makes you think you can beat me?" David replied, "The God of Israel has given you into my hands today. And I will defeat you and kill you, and all the Philistines with you will be utterly defeated. Then all the world will know that there is a God in Israel." When Goliath heard these words, he was very angry. He didn't expect a young shepherd to come and challenge him like that. He thought that David was one of the best warriors in the Israelite army, and he was very confident that he would win the fight. So he grabbed his spear and his sword and charged towards David, and David ran away from him as fast as he could. As they were running around the battlefield, David kept dodging Goliath's attacks, and he made sure not to get too close to him. He knew that if he got within range of Goliath's spear or sword, then he would be killed instantly. And after a while, David found a small opening in Goliath's defense, and he took advantage of it. He pulled out his sling and loaded up a stone. Then he aimed for Goliath's forehead and let the stone fly. It hit Goliath right between his eyes, and the stone was so heavy that it knocked him down. And before Goliath could get back up, David ran over and plunged his sword into his neck. This surprised everyone who was watching the fight. Couldn't believe that such a small stone could knock down such a big giant. And when Goliath fell to the ground, the Philistines were terrified. They turned and fled from the battlefield. The Israelites were overjoyed when they saw their enemy running away, and they began to shout and clap their hands. And Saul, the king of Israel, was so happy that David had killed Goliath that he gave him his armor as a reward. But David refused to wear it, told Saul, "I cannot go out in these. I am not able to move about in these. I am used to wearing a shepherd's coat. I have been tending my father's sheep, and all my dress is like that of a shepherd. I have only my staff and my sling in my bag, and I have learned to save myself. I am a fugitive. I am only a lowly shepherd." Saul said to David, "As surely as you have spoken, so shall you do. Go, and may the Lord go before you." Then David took a sling and 5 smooth stones out of the bag he carried, and he went to meet the Philistine. when the Philistine came near and drew his sword to attack him. David ran forward and threw a stone from the sling and struck the Philistine on the forehead. Then the stone stuck in his forehead and he fell to the ground. After that, David ran to Goliath and killed him by striking him on the neck with a sword. And when the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled from the battle. Then David went back to Saul and said, "Your servant slew Goliath of Gath Philistia with a sword. Now therefore, please give your servant the girl whom you have promised." And King Saul said to David, "I will give you whatever you ask for, with half of everything I own. Only don't ask for money or costly gifts. Instead, tell me what woman you like. I will give you that one as your wife." David replied, "I do not want anything for myself except to have Miriam, the daughter of Pharaoh, the Ammonite, the sister of Goliath, the Gittite whose bronze helmet was on his head. For look, I have slain Goliath, the Gittite. Hophni and I have taken the water from his mouth." Therefore, King Saul gave him Miriam, the daughter of Pharaoh, the Ammonite, and she became his wife. And David also took the spoil from the slain Goliath and took it home. Whenever David was in distress, he would flee to God, and God would help him. And thus the shepherd slew a giant and won a great victory for the Israelites. Wow, right? What a story. So what's the lesson here? Well, facing giants isn't just about physical strength or size. It's also about our mental game. We all have our own giants, those challenges and obstacles that seem too big to overcome. But David's story reminds us that with courage, faith, and a well-aimed stone, we can conquer our giants too. Just like David, we need to trust in a higher power, be prepared, and never underestimate the strength we have within us. Now, what giants do you face in your life? Remember, you don't have to face them alone. God is with you every step of the way. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, may you find strength and courage in the story of David and Goliath. Thanks for watching.